Okay, hello. Keegan here from Audata. In this presentation, we're just going to be talking about some upcoming changes to Audata Connect, our cloud telephony platform, and talk about the benefits and also cover the migration process and what it means for you if you're currently using the Audata Connect Windows desktop application. So the announcement we're making is that Audata Connect, the desktop application, which you may be familiar with, you may use, is being sunset and it's no longer going to be updated or supported moving forward. So we'll be deprecating the Audata Connect desktop application and moving over to a combination of the web application, which you may be familiar with, that already exists, and a new audio server desktop client, which is an optional component for professional broadcast workflows. The reasons we're doing this, first of all, really importantly, to allow us to focus on managing and developing a single code base so that we can put our efforts into deploying, shipping, supporting the web application, and not have to juggle between two different code bases. Often when there's updates, there's small discrepancies that emerge between the web application and the desktop application currently. So this is going to mitigate that. We want to consolidate all the user interface controls for Connect that the end user is experiencing into a single consistent experience. So that is going to be the web application. We also have heard feedback from customers that the authentication process on the Audata Connect desktop application is not ideal. It is a little bit clunky, particularly if you're using single sign-on. Some organizations have been using service accounts to kind of get around this. It's still a bit messy because you open the desktop application, you still need to open a browser tab to authenticate that application. And we understand that is not a frictionless workflow, particularly in a high pressure kind of fast moving studio broadcast environment. So that's a really big factor for why we're doing this. And also, we want to provide more power and flexibility for engineers, professional broadcast engineers, to deploy Connect with the introduction of our audio servers, which is what we're going to be talking about. And I will be showing you in this presentation today. The core functions of desktop, the reasons that you might use the desktop application instead of the web application, there's really two, and we're moving those to our new product called Windows Audio Server for Connect. Those features are, one, the ability to use multiple audio channels simultaneously. You may be aware that currently the web browser doesn't allow us to access two different audio input-output devices. It's typically the browser allows us to access one audio I/O per tab. And so we can't have that situation where you have multiple faders with two different callers on those two audio or Data Connect devices. And the other big one is providing a pre-delay program for your music on hold, so the caller's on hold hearing what's going on. That's the big reason that people use the desktop application. We're taking both of those and moving them to a Windows application. It's still a Windows application that's installed on the desktop, like the Windows desktop application, except all it does is this. It is your audio server. It can exist on a physical machine or it can exist on a virtual machine. You can put it on the machine you're using Windows desktop on currently, Connect Desktop on currently, which we'll talk about. All user interaction is going to happen in the Connect web application. The process of managing, screening calls, answering, holding calls, conferencing, every other thing that happens in the production workflow for call screeners, producers, presenters on air, that all happens now in the Connect web application, and that won't happen in a desktop application moving forward. I'd like to take you through the architecture, a diagram of how this works so that hopefully it's a bit clearer. So this below the line is your local environment. And now you have two sort of separate components, pieces that work together. One is the Audata Connect web interface. This works exactly the same as it does currently. It doesn't change. It just introduces the ability to control audio servers, which I will show you shortly. And this, as currently, can be accessed sort of anywhere you have an internet connection. using Audata ID authentications, your single sign-on, whatever you might be using. And so all the control happens in the web interface. The web interface talks directly to the audio server, which, as I mentioned, can be on a physical machine. It can be the PC in the studio. It can be in a rack-mounted environment, in your MCR. It can be a virtual machine. And it runs the audio server. And the audio server, Connect Audio Server, is a Windows native desktop application. And its only job is to provide the audio stream to the Connect cloud, input and output. And you can have as many Connect audio servers as you like, and that allows you to have access to limitless devices. And this is a great setup, particularly with VMs. It's a great setup for if you have an audio over IP infrastructure. The audio server sends, as you currently do, basically this is what desktop currently does, the Audata Connect Desktop application. It sends the output audio to your audio interface for your broadcast mix. It takes your mix minus for your caller and returns that back. And also, optionally, it can provide your pre-delay program feed or some other feed that you want to use for your music on holds, which is your caller on hold. You can still use audio devices from the web interface without audio servers. It works the same as it does currently. It just means you can't do music on hold from just using this alone. And you can't use multiple different audio devices. You can just use the one. But this means, for example, you could have a situation where you could have a producer. I mean, a producer could be working from home if they wanted to, and they can have a USB headset just with their Google Chrome browser open with Audata Connect in the web, and they can answer and screen calls. And then they can answer the call from their web browser via the audio server so that it goes on air or it's picked up in the studio or whatever. This is a look, and I'm going to show you a real-life demo of the Audata Connect Audio Server client. So this is the new desktop application which replaces the Audata Connect application. Audio servers can run in the background, and at the moment, they offer the same functionality as you get in the desktop Connect client in terms of the audio input output. You have two, for each audio server instance that you have running, you have two different devices which can be set to different audio input outputs. An input for line 1 and line 2, which is sort of like those two device selectors that you see at the top. If I go back here, these two device selectors at the top of your Audata Connect web client interface. So you can have two different audio devices on that machine that can be accessed. And also you can have live programming, which is our music on hold for callers, which can run, and this application can run and provide that live feed. Let's do a demo. And I'm going to walk you through the process of setting up audio servers and show you how it works. We're really excited about it. It is on top of just the fact that it's a better situation moving forward for us. It does offer a lot more flexibility and a lot more power. I'm going to open up Audata Connect here. This is the web application. And I'm going to now go up to my settings, and under audio devices, you'll see previously you just got to select from your local audio devices an input and output. Now you have the option whether you want this device, as in this box here, to be a local device or use an Audata Connect audio server. We don't have any audio servers set up yet, so we're going to configure one, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so now I'm here on my PC that I'm going to use for my audio server, and I'm going to install the Audata Connect audio server application. I'm going to go ahead and open the Audata Connect audio server application, and the first time that you do so, it will present you with a configuration wizard to set it up. Unlike the previous Audata Connect desktop application, we don't use Audata ID or single sign-on authentication. So we don't use user-based authentication. We've moved that just to the web experience. So we think this is a much better workflow. We instead use API keys, which allow you to connect the audio server to your Audata Connect instance. So I'm back here in the Audata Connect web application on a different machine, and I'm going to go to the user icon on the top and open the admin dashboard. And in the left sidebar, you can see we now have an option called Audio Servers. And then we can create our audio server. So if I go create audio server, and we'll say this is Audata FM Studio 1, for example, and save audio server. And that's going to give us this API key, which I will copy. And then we take that back across to our audio server PC. So here on our audio server PC, the first thing we do is select our Audata Connect Cloud region, at the moment from Australia, Europe, or South America, and we're running this one on Australia. Paste in the API key from the web application and click Next. Now we can set the default devices. Obviously, you would have your actual audio interface, sound card, or audio over IP drivers. We'll click Next, and then we'll choose our output devices as well, and click Finish. Now you'll see these orange registering icons will start to change once the connection is established. There we go. So 4 green icons or labels indicate that all these audio devices are working and the audio server is now talking to the Audata Cloud server. And that's all we have to do. We can now remotely control this audio server from the Audata Connect web application anywhere with the internet. So here I am back in Audata Connect on my web browser. And we now have icons on the device selector, which is these 2 buttons, which indicate whether the device selector is using a local audio device or an Audata audio server. If you see the headphone icon, that indicates it's a local device. And if you see a fader icon, that indicates it is an audio server. So I'm going to go into my configuration under audio devices, and I'm going to select, you can have one device on your local audio device and another one on the audio server. But in this case, I'm going to switch both of them to my audio server. So I click audio server. And if I click on the drop down on select audio server, you'll see Audata FM Studio 1, which we configured. And I can do the same for this one. You'll see it checks the status, and once we have confirmation, there you go. It's confirmed that it's connected to the audio server, and we can close that. You'll see a label on the device selectors now saying which audio server is active and selected, and there's a fader icon which indicates that this device selector is using an audio server. So let's have a look at how it works. I'm going to select this device selector, and I'm going to make an outbound call to myself. Okay, and now let's take a look at this call on the audio server. Here on the audio server, you can see line 1 is showing the device status is in a call with that person. You can also see live programming, which is my audio feed, providing that audio to the cloud for music on hold, and that is showing as standing by. Let's configure that as well, back on the web application. Here in the web application, I'll go ahead and hang up that call for now. And I'm going to go into the admin application. And one thing you'll need to do now to get the music on hold pre-delay feed working is go into settings and ensure that you have a live programming audio server selected. So this allows you to select from the audio servers you've set up which one you would like to be providing that music on hold for that station. So I'm going to select Audata FM Studio 1 and save my settings. Let's have a look. You see we have a yellow icon here, which indicates the servers are still connecting, and they'll go green once we're ready to make calls on the audio server, which it has. So I'm going to go and place a call to myself here again. Let's answer that on my phone. I'm going to put the call on hold, and then let's take a look at the audio server. Here on the audio server, as you can see, the device status has changed from standing by to live programming, which means that there is one or more callers on hold at the moment, and this audio server is providing the audio from this input here to those callers as music on hold. So that is a look at Audata Audio Servers in action, there is one more thing I want to show you, which is device presets. So let's say that you are frequently changing between different studios, different stations that have different audio servers. It's a bit time consuming to go into the settings and have to change these settings here to select your different audio servers, etc. So what we can do is we can create a preset so that you can switch between them. And I'll show you that quickly. In the admin dashboard, we go to audio servers. For the sake of this example, I'm going to create another audio server here, and I'm going to say this is going to be Audata FM Studio 2. I'm not going to worry about actually setting this one up. This is just for an example. We have a device presets tab here, and this allows us to create a device preset. And so I'm going to call this preset I'll just call this Studio 1. And I'm going to select audio server 1 and audio server 1 and save. And then I'm going to make another device preset, and I'm going to call that Studio 2. And Studio 2. And now these presets are available for users in the top right corner of the screen. So if I'm a user on air, when I open up the Connect application in the web browser, I can quickly switch my audio servers by clicking up here and choosing Studio 2, and you'll see it switches over to Audata FM Studio 2, and I can start taking calls. And if I want to switch to Studio 1, select that, and it's going to switch to Audata FM Studio 1. So that is a look at Audata Audio Servers. We've been working very hard on this, and this is just the beginning. The roadmap for the rest of the financial year 25-26 looks a little like this. We've been taking feedback from our broadcast engineer customers, and this is what we are looking at. We've already been working on virtual producers, which we've spoken about previously. We're looking forward to bringing that into beta and then GA sometime, hopefully early in 2026, which will provide modern AI tools to help automate tasks that call screeners might be doing and allow you to engage audiences at scale and take lots of calls and get the best content. We're also going to be consulting with our customers for audio encoding standards, so things like AES 67, Livewire, Wheatstone, etc. These have been requested for the audio server product specifically by our customers. So we're going to be talking to customers about which encoding standards are the highest priorities, and we'll be looking at building out the audio server product with more professional broadcast audio components. Our in-app voice tool for SDKs to add to your native mobile or web application is coming as well. So this will enable you to have complete voice over IP without using any PSTN or SIP telephone calling directly from your own native apps. So people can download your app and make calls in super high quality, very low latency, and also enable remote crosses. Things like journalists in the field will be able to connect to Audata Connect with high quality, low latency see audio over IP. And we're also looking at implementing Ember Plus, the Lavo standard. So if you use Studio components, which support Ember Plus, you'll be able to do things like, answer calls from the console, display the caller's name on the fader or the call status. You can, maybe you're depending on what your components support, you can do all kinds of stuff. So we're going to be deeply implementing and integrating Ember Plus with pretty much everything in Connect so that you've got access to all of that data in your Connect ecosystem and you can use that in your studio builds. This is the really important slide I wanted to focus on. So in this demo, I showed you basically what it would look like if you have two computers. One is your PC for your audio server, and the other one is your web browser where you're using the web application. I want to point out you don't have to do that. What you can do, if you currently are using the desktop application, the easiest way to migrate is just to install the audio server on that machine and uninstall the desktop application. That's all you have to do, and then simply explain to your presenters, producers that they just open up the web browser. You can make a shortcut to the Connect application on the desktop if you want to. Sorry, the Connect web application on the desktop so that it feels like a similar experience, but you can have that that PC that you have in the studio at the moment running the desktop app can have the audio server software on it, and then you can just use the web application on the same PC to start taking calls. This is another important point. You can have unlimited audio servers. So I just wanted to point out here that there is no change to how licensing works. So licensing is still based on what we call services, so stations basically, and your active call minutes. So there is no sort of license limitations on how many audio servers you can install and run. You can run as many as you like. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me via email. You can contact our support team, of course, but I am here to help particularly customers at the moment who are using the desktop application to migrate across. If you have any comments or thoughts or feedback, I'd also love to hear from you, so let me know. Thank you for your time today, and we're looking forward to continuing to expand and build the Audata Connect product with our customers in the future.